Okay, let's get started. First of all, big thank you to all of you that have gone maybe through similar circumstances as me that I have to drive 2 hours through snow and sleet. And so I know a lot of you are coming also from a far distance. So I want to thank you for coming to the class. I truly appreciate it. Um, and please tell your classmates. I got a lot of emails that I checked, but people that couldn't make it. So tell them that it's okay, not a big deal, not a problem. Next week we have, however, a quiz. So next week I'm gonna need all of you here with your computers. We're gonna send an email to remind you. Okay. Today's class, unfortunately, is gonna be long and boring. The first half is going to be nice. We're going to talk about technological agents, but the second half is going to be boring. We're going to talk about toothbrushing techniques and ingredients in toothpaste. So if I find anybody falling asleep, I won't take a grudge against you. No more. Okay. I'll let you know what you need to learn about the toothpaste, but it's important that you have all that information because one day a patient is going to come and ask you about mouth rinses and toothpaste and toothbrushes and all of that. So at least you should know what to recommend to your patient. So with that being said, we're going to start with etiological factors. Well, tooth-related factors are not really etiological factors for periodontal disease, but are factors that you're going to find in the mouth that are going to help to the accumulation of plaque. So anything and everything that helps the accumulation of plaque is going to be either a risk factor or a secondary etiological factor. The main and only etiological factor for period disease is bacteria on a susceptible form. Okay, so um, so you can find all the way from changes in the condition of a tooth or the position or as a result of a restorative therapy that was not correctly done. So those things are going to be issues that you're going to find in the mouth that are all of them going to contribute to plaque accumulation. And when you contribute to plaque accumulation, then you're setting the scenario for periodontal disease. So we're going to talk about all of them. So we have cervical enamel projections and pearls, rotations, tooth position, root proximity, open contacts, and with that, we also are going to talk a little bit about restoration. We touched last time a little bit on those, so we'll touch again today. So, okay, so you can have on anomalies on the roots, you can have the palatal gingival groups. I'm going to show you what they are, and proximal root groups. On tooth restorations, you're going to find restorative discrepancies that overhang restorations and sometimes effects of restorative materials that you're going to find that some of your patients will be allergic to some metals or something like the nickel allergy that is on removable appliances that some patients will have. So this is the best example of a palatal groove. So here you're seeing the tooth inside the mouth, and this is going to have, this is like a 15 millimeter probe, so you're going to have like a 10 millimeter pocket that just isolated to the area where this groove is. So when you extract the tooth, you can observe how this groove goes all the way close to the periapical area. Therefore, plaque will sit there and start periodontal disease. Now, if you can observe here, well, if you probe this area, you're going to find that you have periodontal disease starting on the mid facial areas in the molar. So when you raise the flap, you can observe how these enamel projections, cervical enamel projections, are coming down. Sometimes they come all the way inside the furcation, and of course you cannot have attachment here, and therefore the plaque comes and establishes. I have another picture that shows better this furcation invasion. So these enamel projections are those you find them very frequently. There is another one, and this is also associated with an ill-fitting restoration. See how the restoration is almost placed into the cessation, and then it has created all these problems. This is a maxillary molar, but it's upside down the picture, but you can also observe how some of these factors favor the accumulation of calculus and therefore periodontal disease progression. So also we have problems with the pulp, necrosis, that through the pulp the bacteria is going to go to the periodontium, lateral canals that are not properly healed, tooth fractures that can involve the crown or the root, the whole tooth, and external root resorption. So, so let's talk about the cemento enamel projection. So they are flat ectopic deposits that they go from the CJ close to the furcation entrance, and they can invade various stages of the furcation, and it's from class 1 to class 3 that go all the way to the furcation. They are kind of triangular, and the problem is that you don't have periodontal attachment there. And I have some more pictures for you. So if you're observing these patients, here they are very prominent. So once the flap is raised, you can see how these projections are going inside the furcation and creating the periodontal disease or the bone resorption that you see. Now you have another type of issues that is the enamel pearls. So those are round ectopic pearls or parts of enamel that they are deposited outside the crown. So whatever they are deposited mainly is on the molars. So again, there's not going to be attachment there. So the problem is that it's going to cause plaque accumulation. This is a third molar, and you can observe also how it has an enamel projection right here, close to this kind of weird location. So you can find a pearl and also an enamel projection.
Can those pearls just be like popped off? Or are they
No, they are attached.
really into it? Okay.
So a lot of times, what we do is you raise the flap and you remove either the protection, the enamel protection, or the pearl. Sometimes you will get attachment, but an enamel, there's no attachment possible from the PDL. So these enamel pearls occur on mandibular molars and also on maxillary molars, the enamel projection, sorry. So they can occur in the maxilla and also on the mandible. And the enamel pearls are more prevalent on the maxillary third molars. So like the tooth that I just showed you, and then I have another one here. So this is associated also with the enamel projection, and then you have here the enamel pearl. Now, if you have here a furcation, I mean a third molar, you extract it and just get rid of it. But if it's another tooth, you can try to do some ameloplasty and try to remove them. So, so most of the time when you find these types of anatomical anomalies, you're going to find them associated with periodontal disease. And then you have here below, you have the furcation. So you have here the perfect storm for periodontal disease on the tooth. Now, furcations. We're going to talk a lot more about furcations later, but furcations, it's the periodontal disease that has gone below and has invaded the opening, the furcation area of the tooth. The problem is that either the patient cannot clean it, and we are also very limited into the access to this furcation because the curettes, usually this entrance is less than a millimeter, and our curettes have 1 millimeter of the entrance, the tip of the instrument. So a lot of times we cannot enter to the fornix and remove the bacteria, and those areas accumulate plaque and are places where periodontal disease will develop. Like you can see in this image, we have here a neighbor's truck showing uh, the entrance of the furcation. Now, once you have this compromised, the tooth automatically, the prognosis is downgraded because furcations are very difficult to manage and keep clean for the patient and manage for us as clinicians. Now here we have concavities also, and we have the furcation on the first premolar. But if you can see all these concavities, all those areas are perfect areas for plaque accumulation and periodontal disease. Also the tooth position and how inclined it is, because if the teeth are crowded, it will be more difficult to clean them. And also a posterior tooth for a patient is tougher to maintain because it's more difficult to reach with the toothbrush. So, and also, as we're going to talk, root proximity is an important factor. So there is no clear evidence, but some studies have shown that a malaligned teeth or teeth that are in a weird position, like vocally or like lingually, they accumulate more plaque and therefore they are more prone to periodontal disease. But there is no strong evidence, so it just has been found. Like you can see in this area, like you can observe the plaque here, and it's because the way the teeth are positioned, it's more difficult for the patient to clean the area. Root proximity can be a big problem because two things. First, it's very difficult for patients to access the area and clean it. And second, once you start getting periodontal disease in that area, you don't have a lot of bone. Let me show you. You don't have a lot of bone between the two teeth. When we extracted this is the X-ray, and we extracted the teeth and put them together outside the mouth, you can see that they are almost touching each other, the roots. So whatever periodontal disease you have here, that it will resort the bone, it's going to affect both teeth. And it's going to be very difficult for you to instrument these areas and go down to your flex. So once you have this type of root proximity, it's going to be very difficult to maintain. So all of these are factors that are going to help plaque to to produce periodontal disease. So again, there is no evidence, scientific evidence, but once you lose that little sleeve of bone and connective tissue, then it's easier for the periodontal disease to progress. And also for us, it's more difficult to. Okay, open contacts cause a problem. Why? Because for two things. First, it can cause direct trauma from the food when it accumulates. And second, because if they are not wide enough so the food can dislodge or the plaque can collect, the open contacts are going to also trap more bacteria. So there is no scientific evidence. However, it has been some papers that that have been published regarding this issue. So it's open contacts cause food infection that help periodontal disease directly by trauma and also by plaque control. So what can cause open contacts? Like we talked in our last course that we talked about the elderly patients that have occlusal wear, or when you have bone and attachment loss, that you have those triangular margins exposed, superruption of the teeth, tooth anomalies, poor restoration, that when you're restoring, you leave an open margin. That's a big no-no. So all of those things can create open contact. And open contacts sometimes can cause periodontal disease. Not all the research is there, not all the research says yes, the evidence is there, but it's inconclusive. However, it's important that you try to avoid contact, open contact under restoration. So you can see in this case, this is a case where the tooth tilted mesially due to the premature loss of the premolar, but you can observe calculus there and bone loss below. So, okay, the palatal grooves, as we talked a little while ago that I showed you, they are anomalies seen primarily in the upper maxillary incisors. They begin in the crown and they go all the way down close to the apex of the tooth. So once it gets involved, it's mostly all the lingual surface of the tooth. So this is another case. This all the whole probe is done. So once you extract the tooth, you can observe the way to the period. So you don't have any attachment here, and therefore the tooth is hopeless. In these cases, it's very difficult to do plastic because it will be to do plastic of the whole root. So treatment usually those teeth are hopeless. So the problem is that you cannot remove the plaque, the patient cannot remove the plaque. So this is just an open area, an open canal where bacteria sits freely and grows freely. So that way it establishes and creates the periodontal disease. So the prevalence is 8.5% in individuals with central and lateral, and 4.6 with central and lateral too. So people that have the two maxillary teeth involved. Okay? Tooth restoration, uneven margins, overhangs in restorations, all these problems with restoration is like if you put a permanent chunk of calculus there, right? If you put an overhang. So what's going to happen? The bacteria is going to collect here, and the result is what we see here, right? Periodontal disease. And the more substantial you go, the more the patient or you cannot access it, and it will create periodontal disease. So you can observe here how this area is acting like a permanent calculus. And a lot of times once you treat your patient, you can, once you're working on your phase one, that is your scaling on root planning, you can go with a flame burr and try to recontour this overhang if the restoration is okay. Don't We are going to talk a lot about the violation of the supracrestal tissue fiber space, because if you violate that space, then most likely you're going to have bone loss. And that's coming later in one of our classes. I believe I have shown you this X-ray with all these overhangs and the periodontal disease that is associated with them. So if you do this kind of dentistry, you're setting up your patient for failure. Also, these very deep restorations violating that space that should exist between the bone and the margin restoration is going to set up for failure. Also, allergies. This is much more difficult to do or to learn, because a lot of times you place your restorative material and the patient comes back with allergies, and then you have to remove it. So there's a lot of allergies like to nickel. Nickel was used in the removal of sinuses, and patients develop a lot of allergies. But you can have allergies to everything, to toothpaste, to anything or any new restorative material. Just be on the lookout for an allergic reaction, okay? In case that you see that the patient is having some pain that you can't explain, or you see some um, response in the mucosa, red or something like that, don't discard this type of allergy. Endo, if you have a pulp necrosis, of course, this bacteria which is inside the pulp is going to travel through the canals and come out and start doing some damage around. A lot of times, if they can establish drainage, like you can see over here, it will destroy the periodontal ligament so the purulence and the exudate can drain. Otherwise, if it doesn't have drainage and it becomes an acute process, your patient might develop a lesion. Okay? So any untreated pulp necrosis can affect the tooth. And also the lateral canals. Lateral canals are much more difficult to identify and they can occur everywhere. So they it's very difficult to know where you have a lateral canal, but also bacteria can stay here in this process and then they can infect the periodontium. And the bacteria associated with pulp necrosis and the bacteria associated with period disease is the same. So it's very easy for the bacteria to to um, to come over here and create disease. So this this area you can observe here how the lateral canal was healed. So a lot of times when you feel these lateral canals and they put MPA, this process will regenerate. But some people said, well, the tooth has periodontal disease, and they try to treat the periodontal disease, but no, it's first you have to treat the lateral canal. Otherwise, you cannot prevent periodontal disease from reoccurring because the source is there. Tooth fractures. Okay, so you can have two types of tooth fractures. So you can have a fracture of the crown. So, like in this case, your crown is fractured. So a lot of times it will trap plaque where the area is cracked, but a lot of times it depends on how you can restore the tooth. A lot of times it's supragingival, the fracture, so you can do some restorative procedure so to prevent the plaque accumulation. Sometimes a tooth fracture, it's difficult to diagnose, so we recommend the transilluminator since it will show you exactly the area that is cracked. The way the light diffracts through the prisms of the enamel will show you how it looks different. Now, there's also fractures not only the crown but also involving the root. And that a lot of times it it's happening teeth that have endo because when you do endo, you dehydrate the tooth because you will want the pulp. So when the tooth is dehydrated, just with occlusion, if you don't place a crown, the tooth has is more friable once it's dehydrated to crack. And they are difficult to detect, and a lot of times they can go all the way down to the tooth. So that tooth, that fracture is the tip of death because usually they are hopeless. So in this case, this patient you can very clearly see and you feel his toe crack. But not always they are this easy to observe. Like these tooth, you have a periodontal probing depth here, so you can tell that there's a fracture that happened below at the furcation area because of this pain doing an excessive load. So sometimes what we did and what we did with this case is just cut very, very difficult to detect. So you're scratching your head like, what is going on? Nowadays, CT scans, or there's some scans of the root surface that are easier to detect fractures, but they are very, very difficult to detect. So, so how do the roots affect the PDL? Because they allow bacterial growth, then inflammation, and then breakdown. It's just how the vicious circle goes with all of the factors that we have been talking about this morning. External root resorption. So this is also a risk for the destruction of the periodontium when it starts on any part of the root, but it will go all the way to the coronal portion to the point that it snaps the tooth and fractures it. External root resorption has no treatment, so a lot of times when you just diagnose it, you talk to the patient, sometimes the patient elects to have the tooth until it cracks, sometimes you extract it. So what happens also is sometimes it's going to be communication from the area that is being resorbed with the outside of the mouth. So bacteria can penetrate and produce periodontal disease. So you can see here how the root is being resorbed. And there's nothing you can do about it. So this is another case where usually when it's like external resorption, the tooth will look pink, or internal also, the tooth will look pink, like in this case. You take an X-ray and you see how much the resorption has affected. So you extract. Any questions? I think this is the end of this class, so I have to move to the class of black, the one that is really long and boring. So go ahead and stretch your legs. Do you have any questions?
Oh yeah.
Bacteria unacceptable. Root fungus. So everything that accumulates plant makes it difficult for the root to thrive. It's very sure.
There are factors of it, but you can do ecological agent infection. You just want to write a little reminder. Everything else is back to the effects, the ability of that to do it. That, risk factors. Everything else is a risk factor for it, but it's not etiologic. I was confused at first. I was like, because that first slide said non-etiologic, and then like somebody else said etiologic. It's like, what question am I putting on here? And I'm carrying your love with me.
Okay, so let's keep going to try to get out of here as soon as we can. So this other presentation is going to talk about everything about plaque control. So the most important thing to prevent the progression of periodontal disease is, of course, to remove the plaque. Okay, so that is going to be our main goal as clinicians. So it's important, although this lecture is a little boring, it's important that you know everything that is out there and how to help the patient achieve periodontal stability, and that will be by controlling the amount of plaque. So a lot of times you get your patients and you see a little bit of calculus and you're like, okay, not a big deal, you know. It's the patient has a little bit of calculus, but really, if you look subgingival, you can find a lot of calculus that is going to be retaining fat and causing the periodontal disease. So don't judge the book by its cover. Always find what is below because it can be surprising how deep the calculus can be. So I'm not going to bore you with this again bacterial explanation, but I put this slide just to summarize that there's a lot of different bacteria, more than 700 species involving periodontal disease. All these bacteria have different requirements in oxygen tension, in pH, in everything to grow. There's bacteria that are the main colonizers, the breaching bacteria, the other types of bacteria that are outside. This colony that is formed when this bacterial biofilm forms. So this biofilm, it's covered by a glycolipid coverage that is going to protect the colony, and then it has like channels that take nutrients and waste out and in of that colony. So this is a very well protected environment. So the only way that you can access it is by physically removing it. Okay? So that's why people said, well, give the patient antibiotics. Well, no. Unless you disrupt this ecosystem, Okay, so think about these bacterial colonies like a very highly organized group. And some of these bacteria are going to penetrate into the tissue and they are going to, and also they're going to produce substances that are going to result wrong. So the most important thing is to tackle these bacteria. Now, um, how are we going to take a record of the plaque in the patient? So we don't use it here because it's too messy, but there's these closing agents on the market that is erythrocin or pushing that they are going to stain. And I have pictures of it. You can buy it in any dental place and also even in grocery stores. You can give them to your patient. And this this kind of stain is going to stain bacteria. It's going to stain all bacteria, not only the gram-negative, etc. But that will give you and your patient an idea of how good the plaque control is done. Here in the school, we are not disclosing the patients. We are just using a plaque percentage system where you are measuring on the first molars, 3, 14, 19, and 30. You're going to look at all the four areas and also eight. Okay? If you don't have those five teeth, you can take the teeth on the side. Okay? If you're losing eight, you can take nine. If you're losing three, take two, whatever, just to have those five teeth. Okay? So those five teeth, then you're going to swipe with your Perio probe and you're going to see if you have plaque. Okay? 1 millimeter into the sulcus, more or less. Okay? So if it's positive, you count the surface. If it's negative, you don't count it. Okay? So then the way you're going to do is you're going to count your plaque surfaces times 10 divided by the number of teeth that you're testing, that is 5 by 4 surfaces. So I have here an example that is going to help you. So we have the 5 teeth, okay, the first molars and then the central. So let's say we have 8 surfaces with plaque, okay? So you multiply the number of teeth by 4, so it's 5 teeth by 4 surfaces, so it's 20 surfaces, right? So we are going to do our math, that is the number of surfaces with flags times 100 divided by the number of surfaces available to evaluate. So it's going to be 800, right? Because we have 8 surfaces of flag multiplied by 100 is 800 divided by 20, that is the 5 teeth by 4 surfaces. You're always going to divide by 20, and this is going to give us 40%. Okay? So I want you to understand this math because this is the way we do practice. So when when anybody asks you what's the percentage of plaque, this is the way to evaluate. Any questions? Always 5 teeth, always 4 surfaces. It's not going to be like the probing that is the mesial, lingual, distal, lingual, midlingual. No. Here is lingual, one surface. Mesial, distal, other surface, and buccal, only 4 surfaces. Okay? So there's a lot of controversy, but it's estimated that 20% is the maximum of plaque that you can allow your patient to have periodontal stability. Of course, having a patient with 0% plaque is kind of impossible. So here you have a patient. So this is the patient just showing up. You look at it and it doesn't look that bad, right? The tissue looks healthy. However, if you disclose your patient, see how much blood the patient has. So a lot of times, this helps not only you, but also your patient to look where the plaque is and remove it. So there's a lot of different presentations for the plaque disclosing. So there's solutions, so liquids, tablets, wafers, and it's composed of pushing and erythrosin solution. So sometimes it's going to be a little bit more blue, sometimes it's going to be a little bit more pink. So you ask your patient to put it in the mouth and just gentle, like swipe it around, then the patient spits, and you can see in these two cases how it changes. So a lot of patients come and say, well, why am I going to go to the dentist just for them to show me how to brush? I better stay home and I won't, I'll do whatever I have done all my life. Well, the important thing is that if the patient has periodontal disease, it has been something that is not being done correct, right? And most of the time it's a plaque control. So you have to you have to try to talk to your patients and you have to talk to them about what is the importance of maintaining that bacteria away from their mouth and to obtain periodontal health. So it's not like you are going to just brush their teeth. It's you're going to show them how they can maintain that health in their mouth because a lot of times patients will have like a dental phobia and they say, well, yeah, no, I'm here, but I don't care. I'm not going to do anything about that. Or the patient feels like embarrassed because they don't want to show you their mouth. Or teenagers that simply they don't care, right? So you show them how to brush and they simply don't care. So the important is that you know how to reach the patient. So first you have to learn who your patient is. Do you have a patient with a low dental IQ? Well, you have to go to the level and explain them what is the bacteria, why it's important. Or you may have patients with mental disabilities. So then you have to talk to the spouse, to the significant other, or to the caregiver about how to maintain the mouth health. So a lot of times, especially in patients like in these populations that they don't have their needs still met, a lot of people have like money trouble and so the main focus is not on cleaning their teeth, but it's like to stay at how they're going to pay the rent. So you have to understand that not all the patients are going to be very accepting for you to suddenly come and tell them, oh, I'm going to show you how you should work it. Some of them will may even feel offended. So what the way you have to approach to them is tell them, I'm going to show you a new method, an improvement. What you're doing so far is good, but I'm going to help you how to better achieve this. Okay? So a lot of times I tell my patients, if you take the amount of infection that you have in your mouth and you have it in your body, both of your palms will be infected. That is the surface that you have in your mouth of when you have periodontal disease. So it's like if both palms of your hands were infected. So if both palms of your hands were infected, will you go to a doctor? And then the patient is going to tell you yes. Well, so tell them, well, the fact that you don't see it is not that it doesn't exist. So I'm going to help you to control that infection. So You have to sit the patient and show them, like how it looks, a healthy area versus an area that has disease. Show them how you remove the plaque. Show them what what is a healthy site versus a diseased site, so they can understand what they are looking for. Because not every patient understands that, oh, I have edema here, maybe gingival. So you have to explain them, you have to help them understand what is uh, what is important for them to know. Okay, so don't start telling them all these fancy words that we talk about because your patient is not going to understand and at the end of the day it's not going to care. Okay, so how you're going to teach your patient, so demonstrate, see your patient, demonstrate the changes, scrape some plaque, show them this is the plaque. If you are using a disclosing agent, it's good, but get patient permission because you don't know if the patient is going to go somewhere and you don't want to send the patient all pink to go to some conference or something. So, and once the patient is staying, then you can show them how they brush and how to to clean better into those areas. You have to explain that the bacteria get under the gingiva, so they have to reach under the gingiva. That's why we're going to teach them a saltular techniques that will reach under the gingiva, and also with the interproximal uh, uh, appliances that we're going to give them, how to reach under the surface. Okay, so toothbrushes, we're going to talk a little bit about them. So they should have a small head. I have seen in the clinic that there's huge heads of the manual toothbrushes. So for a patient to reach the third molar with those big heads is not going to be possible. So try, if you cannot find that smaller head, a pediatric toothbrush will do the job. Okay, always soft. Some patients use those hard bristles and they brush horizontally, and we're going to see some problems that that type of toothbrushing is giving them. So when you get the patient, give them a toothbrush and ask them to show you, okay, how they brush. So we have a lot of things available. If you walk through the hall of a grocery store or pharmacy, you're going to find a lot of different things. You know, every time the market is coming with new things, and but it's important for you that to know which one it will help your patient and which one will not. So we are going to talk a little bit about all of them and which are better used for the patient and which case you should use them. So the toothbrushes are very important. It's the main part that is going to help you. However, they are going only to clean the buccal and the lingual surface. The bristles of the toothbrush will never get into the interproximal area. That's why you need interproximal appliances to get into there. Okay? So, yes, your toothbrush is going to cover facial, lingual, and occlusal. Okay? But the most common areas for periodontal disease to start is in the proximal areas because the most difficult to clean and the ones that most of the patients don't clean. Okay? So there is not a single method that is suitable for every patient. So every particular case, every patient is going to need to have you need to look at the severity of the periodontal disease, how the teeth are in shape, and what is the manual dexterity of the patient. So ask your patient that they should brush twice daily. There's some patients that say, oh, I only can brush once. Well, if they do it correctly, once will be enough. But don't tell that to your patient because then they will only brush once. So at the end of the day, it's not the technique, it's not the amount of time that you spend, but it's the results. The important is that you bring that flat index to 20% of lower. Okay, that is going to be your target. So again, there's not an ideal toothbrush. Okay, so it should, the experience and the research shows that a manual toothbrush with a short head and multi-top straight bristles and soft, it will be the most effective. Okay, and the bristles should have rounded ends. Most of the toothbrushes in the market today, they have rounded. The force should not exceed 3 to 400 grams. A lot of patients do a lot of force with the toothbrush and they damage their teeth. And I'm going to show you how how some pictures. And then your patient, the next question is, okay, so you're saying I have to do 3 to 400 grams. How do I measure? Well, the way you do it is to just grab your toothbrush with 2 fingers, with your thumb and with your index, and then you're going to brush. If you grab your toothbrush with your whole palm closed and then brush, most likely you're going to try a lot of things. Okay, so hard bristles, toothbrushes that are medium or firm, and abrasive toothpaste cause a lot of damage to the okay? And I'm going to show you. So it's also the controversy. What about a manual toothbrush? What about an electric toothbrush? Okay, so research has done both of them work the same. So if you give a patient with good dexterity a manual toothbrush, is will work the same if you give a patient with not a good dexterity an electric toothbrush. So you should let the patient choose. If you see that the patient is not controlling the plaque well, then suggest them. Why don't you switch to an electric? Because the electric will do all the work for you. You don't have to angle, you don't have to massage, you don't have to do anything that we're going to talk about next to the toothbrushing technique. The electric toothbrush will do the job itself. So both are the same. The important thing is that the patient, whatever the patient feels the best. Okay. So the power assisted, usually I like to give it to children, people that have disabilities, people with a lot of respiration, uh, people that have teeth that are malaligned or people that are in hospital and they are not allowed to clean. So if you think that the patient has some issues, go ahead and prescribe them an electrical toothbrush. So there's several brands out there in the market to choose from. Some people like some more than others. However, all of them have demonstrated that if you do them correctly, they will get the job done. Now, this is the toothbrush trauma that you're going to find in patients that are brushing like horizontally or they're brushing with paste that are very especially canines and premolars, since those teeth are the most prominent in the in the dentition, and it's going to go from acute ulcerations and lacerations, as you can see here, or chronic row festoons and recession, where you're going to have an attraction lesion. So you can see even the shape of the toothbrush, how it is on the attraction, okay? Because it's wedged and it wears away the tooth surface. And you can see it, the canine, which is the most prominent, is the one that has the most attraction. Okay? So this is through horizontal brushing stroke with a lot of pressure and sometimes with a very aggressive toothpick. Any questions? So every time that you find something like this clinical image or this one, make sure that you correct the toothbrushing technique and explain your patient that what your kid doing is not right and should change. Okay? What about irrigators? Some dentists love them, periodontists don't like them. Why? Because it's just an adjunctive here. So the irrigator, what it does is it dislodges food or anything that can be trapped between the contact area and can help dislodging some plaque that is not attached in that colony that I was talking about. But those irrigators will never replace toothbrushes. Okay? This is just water that imagine you're washing that colony with a little bit of water, and that's not going to do anything to the intestinal area. Okay? So if you ask your patient to do too many things, too many aids, now do a, a, a water pick and then follow with a floss and then do an inapproximate brush, your patient is going to end up not doing any of that. So make sure you give them the least amount of appliances or instruments, but that will get the job done. Okay? Any questions so far? No. Okay. So what is the toothpaste? A lot of patients, I have had that question tons of times. What toothpaste should I use? Okay. So a good toothpaste should not be very abrasive because it's going to wear the enamel with time. So, and if you have a patient that is having a bad brushing technique and a very abrasive toothpaste, then it's just going to be uh, the piece of death for that person. And make sure that you ask the patient to clean the, the after the teeth, that they also clean the tongue. The tongue is the area that a lot of times collects a lot of blood through the rough surface. So the patient should also clean the tongue. Yes.
How can you tell if the toothpaste is like abrasive? Like, is it like say like a better ingredient? Like, which ingredient specifically?
The most abrasive, and when we reach the area of the calculus prevention toothpaste, those are the ones that are the most abrasive. The regular ones, they are less abrasive. We'll get to all of that in a minute. Um, so what should a toothpaste, an ideal toothpaste? Well, prevent plaque formation, remove the plaque, help with the demineralization of the teeth promoted by the acid, prevent periodontal disease, not being irritant, help with a good flavor, and help with breath of the patient, like a halitosis. And that's why a lot of the toothpaste have all these ingredients. some of them have more or less abrasives, all of them have water, silicone, detergents, agents, all of them have all of these. However, there's different types of toothpaste made for different things. So you have the anti-plaque, the anti-calculus, the desensitizer, the tooth whitener, and the one that prevents decay. So that's the one that has different adding agents to this base of chemicals to make the toothpaste. And as you can see, all of these things can cause allergies. So be on the lookout if your patient changes toothpaste and suddenly develops uh, some rash. So everything that will have abrasive agents, everything with aluminum, calcium, zinc, silicas, carbonates, phosphates, all those polishing and cleaning ingredients, those are the toothpaste that are going to be more abrasive. So now the humectants, those are in all of the toothpaste. So it's all of these ingredients that I don't want you to memorize them. I just want you to be aware what are the ingredients that I use and what are the purpose of them. So there's binders and gelling agents to give it the texture that it has. So it's from natural gum, seaweed, and cellulose. Again, this is not going to come in the exam. I just want you to know. So a foaming agent, if it doesn't have foam, a lot of patients don't feel it's clean. It's like a soap, if it doesn't foam, it people will not feel that it's clean. And that's why it's used the SDS. And this is like a foaming agent. This is going to create that. Sweetening agents, sorbitol, citrate, mannitol, glycerin. So all of these just to give it a flavor. Since some of the chemicals have not very good flavor, so you have to cover it. Now there's different types of toothpaste, and this is what here's what you have to pay attention to. There's some anti-caries, there's some desensitizing, there's some anti-gingivitis and anti-plaque, and then there's some that are natural. So a lot of them share some compounds in common. So we're going to talk about them, what makes every toothpaste different, because with every different toothpaste is the one you're going to prescribe to your patient. Not everybody is going to use the same toothpaste, okay? So all the anti-caries, as you know, we have Prevident here in the clinic that has 5,000 parts per million of fluoride. It's sodium fluoride and sodium monophosphate and the stannous fluoride that a lot of the toothpaste have, like the regular with fluoride over the counter. But this is a prescription strength. So this is a higher concentration of 5,000 parts per million as compared to the 1,000 parts per million on the regular over the counter. So what happens is this is going to remineralize the tooth, the enamel, and the dentin, and prevent that demineralization that happens with the attack of the acid caused by sugar and carcinogenic bacteria. Okay? Any questions? Okay, so there's also Sensodyne. So Sensodyne is going to, there's some desensitizing toothpaste that are in the market. And Sensodyne is going to work with potassium salts, and what it's going to do is going to depolarize the nerve endings coming out from the venom to when you have recession coming out from the vent into the cementum, and when you have that cementum exposure, the fiber endings are exposed, and then every touch, every change in temperature is going to depolarize. So these potassium salts are going to try to stop this depolarization process. However, it only lasts the relief while you use it because as it will reverse that depolarization. There's some other desensitizing agent, the stannous fluoride, and this is going to work by tubular occlusion. And stannous fluoride, we also talked that it helps with bacteria. So stannous fluoride is very, very highly used in almost all of the toothpaste that you're going to see in the market. Okay? So the way this is going to work is just going to precipitate some of the ion from the stannous iron to occlude the ventral tubule. So it's going to block them. So then this hypersensitivity that you have will be gone. Okay. Also, the calcium phosphate that that is going to cause also relief of sensitivity. So it also creates the occlusion of the canal. Okay, so both of these promote more lasting relief than the potassium that is from central. The anti-plaque before and still in Europe, you will find triclosan. And sometimes still on old journals or an old book, you will find it. However, it has been discovered that it causes alteration in hormone regulation, and therefore it can cause some resistance on the bacteria. So it's not used in the US anymore. Okay, but if you see it on books in Europe, it's widely used. So, and again, the stannous chloride. So Colgate Total Crest for Health, they have the plaque, anti-plaque and anti-gingivitis properties accepted by the American Level Association. And they are mainly based on the stannous chloride property, aside of all the other compounds. However, this agent that we use so widely in our toothpaste um, has a very bitter taste. So it has been reformulated and it has been reworked to have a different taste. And it has been proved to reduce inflammation, bleeding on probing because it depletes bacteria. Okay? So it also helps to prevent decay because promotes enamel mineralization. So this is a very good agent to that they have been putting in the toothpaste since 1950. Now, the tartar control, they have tartar phosphates, okay? So what happens is it's supposed that it reduces plaque calculus accumulation because it inhibits the crystal growth, okay? So it should decrease the amount of new calculus that is deposited. Also control the stem because the stem is just comes the agent that is staining and deposit from the enamel. So this is a kind of like an abrasive toothpaste also relaxes skin and may cause sensitivity due to the irritation of how abrasive it is. So the consideration of societal effects. It's that any kind of toothpaste may cause an allergic reaction, sensitivity. So again, be on the lookout if you see red gingiva vesicles and tissues blocking, inquire your patient if there has been a change of the ingredients like the sodium lauryl sulfate is linked to this reaction. So the SLS in the toothpaste, but it's the one that causes the foam and it decreases the superficial tension. So it's something that we need in our toothpaste, but it's linked to that reaction. And also the anticalculus higher burning because they are highly abrasive. Tongue cleaning. So you can either brush your tongue or there are different things that are in the market that are like a scraper, like that you put it on the tongue and just pull it out. And it's very important because the saliva, the bacteria in the saliva are coming from the tongue. Okay? So cleaning the tongue reduces the oil debris, reduces plaque formation, the number of bacteria, and it helps for the mouth to be clean. Okay, so we're moving a little bit more to the inner dental instrument. So as we said, the dental the toothbrush is going to clean the main surfaces, facial, lingual, how occlusal. However, proximally is not going to reach because the bristles don't get into the area. You're going to find three types of patients in your clinic. The healthy patient that has the right contacts very tight and the papilla is occupying all the space and just have the clinical crown and getting swallowed by the gingiva. Those patients, you have to prescribe them dental floss. A patient that starts having recession, that you start to see these black triangles form, but they don't have enough white space that one of these proximal brushes will fit, then you should prescribe a dental. And then you have the patient with more advanced periodontal disease, a lot more recession that has an area that is open to use an inner brush. Any questions so far? So what happens if you have a concavity on your root? If you have exposed the root surface, and like in the case of the premolar, you have a concavity, the plaque is going to sit there, okay? And then the floss is just going to go straight and never reach the area of the plaque. So if you give them an proximal brush or a toothpick that will be able to reach better that area. Now, when are you going to tell your patients to floss? You're going to tell them to floss before they brush. Why? Because first, if you have debris or plaque, you want to take it out from that area so the fluoride or all the agents in your toothbrush reach that area. And sometimes if the patient brushes before, they will feel they are clean because the taste of the toothpaste and they say, no, I don't think I need to use any approximate, so they will skip it. A lot of your patients, the first thing that they drop is flossing or doing approximate treatment. Is what they find more trouble in. So you want them to have it done first so they will know. Now, this I'm just going to pass on really quick because everybody here knows how to do the floss, how you hold it and how you grasp it and how you move it. Just make sure that you don't snap it down. Some people, I have seen that when they have very tight contact, they just boom, push it down, and then a lot of times they hurt the gingiva. So the way to bring it down is moving procolingually slowly,
Question.
or you will clear the contact area. Yes.
Are you against the flossers, the floss picks?
No, no, no. Those are good because it also has a handle and then the patient can hold it instead of sticking the fingers. Yeah. So how to do it? Okay, so you're going to see patients with Stillman threads, right? And that means that the patient has tried to push the floss either like in one way down or move it very apically, not the 1 millimeter that you tell the patient to reach, and they injure the gingiva. So sometimes when you find a patient that is like really eager to start brushing and you give them new oral hygiene instructions, sometimes they come back with this part of Stillman clip because they have started doing it and they don't know it how to do it very good, so they have hurt themselves. So that's when you have to come and show them. Interdental brushes, I love them for patients. We always see patients with periodontitis. So if you take an interproximal brush here, you're going to clean very good all these concavity areas. Very easy for the patient to use back and forth. Same thing with the dental teeth. So patients that have open spaces, like triangles, resection, dental inner brushes, some excellent. Okay, now the oral irrigators. They again they do pulsating water and then they will remove the non-adherent plaque, like the bacteria that is free outside. So it may interfere with biofilm maturation, but it's never going to remove that. So they are cheap, they are patients kind of like it, and I have seen a lot of people dentists recommending them. Please stay away from them. Please. I know you're going to get a lot of advertisements, the water peak, and they even call it flossers and a lot of things, but it's just water, pulsating water. So, okay, so now we're getting to another boring area, which is the toothbrushing techniques. The For a patient that has a healthy periodontal or patient with gingivitis or periodontitis, the modified fast technique is going to be one of the techniques that you want to use on those patients. Okay? And basically, what you're doing is you're putting your bristles at 45 degrees and going inside like a millimeter. Okay? So as you ask your patient to put the bristles and then doing a little bit of vibration, the bristles will lodge into the sulcus and it will remove the plaque. That's why they are calling sulcular technique. Okay? So it's good for opening the proximal areas, exposed areas, periosurgery, abutment teeth. So it's one of the most used techniques. Okay, so here is the whole technique, how it goes, how you position it, and how you do it on the lingual. It's I want you to, if you have questions, you can read, but I'm not gonna go through the whole technique. Okay, so another is the modified Stillman, good also for healthy patients and generalized resection. way this works in difference from the modified test is that this is a sweeping motion. So you're going to get your results again 45, and then you're going to do short back and forth movement, very short. Okay, so that is going to create a sweeping motion. So you have to ask the patient to repeat it 5 to 10 times, that sweeping motion, and move to the next segment of the mouth. So it this technique removes very good the plaque below the height of contour, especially if they have prostheses that are very over contoured. The area below the widest part of the crown is where the plaque accumulates, and this technique is very good for that. And it helps stimulating blood flow in the massage. Oh God. By by giving massage and stimulating the blood flow. So again, this is how it's done on the facial and lingual. Okay, so I'm not gonna go through all of them. Just read, and if you have any questions, then you ask. Okay, so this is another technique. This is charters, and this is completely different because instead of directing 45 off to try to get into the sulfur, this goes down. Okay, so imagine if you have a patient that has here a bracket with all those wires and all that stuff. So all the bristles that are coming from above are going to clean between the wire and the bracket. So if you have a young person that has ortho, always you have to recommend charters. So as I said, Stillman and Bass always go 45 up, charters come down. Occlusal brushing is either vibrations or back and forth movement, but you maybe want to do vibrations because your back and forth will contact only the cup, but it wouldn't go through all the little areas and crevices around the surface. So it's more like a vibration instead of horizontal. There's another technique form that is used for children, and this is just circle, 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 circle. So it's very easy for children to do that technique. This is a weird technique that it's a weird toothbrush that I haven't seen it in the market lately. Is the Collis curved toothbrush, which will do the buccal and the lingual at the same time. I haven't seen that toothbrush in lately. But if you find one of those, it's for this technique. That it's supposed to save time because it brushes at the same time. However, I don't, nobody thinks it's very effective, so I don't think it's being used anymore. So, as I said before, don't give your patient a lot of things to. Oh, this is this flosser, this is another Proxa brush, this is floss, all these brushes, because they are not going to use any of them, they're going to get confused. Give them at least amount of instrument that they could use to achieve a good idea. If the patient has close contact, give them floss. If the patient has open contact, floss the brushes or the toothpaste. give them a lot of things that can get them confused. Okay? Now, mouthwashes, this is the last part. We're almost done. So, it's supposed that it should be a lot of patients. Again, I'm going to ask you, what type of mouthwash? Should I use a mouthwash? Okay. So you should know about all of this. So they are supposed to be made to help with the pleasant uh, flavor in your mouth, with, to help with halitosis, and it's supposed that it should reduce dental caries and bacteria in the mouth. It's they are most of the time recommended as part of the patient adjunctive uh, oral hygiene of the patient, not instead of. Okay, so it's just an adjunctive. So there are some mouthwashes that have oral antiseptic. They inhibit the growth of bacteria. They cause no toxicity, active against the bacteria. Half of the US population uses mouthwashes. And the recommendation from most of them is rinse daily for 30 days. The mouth rinses, the good thing is that they grease areas that are not very accessible and and they can help, but all the rinses have a very limited effect on sublingual bacteria. So that 1 millimeter that the toothbrush is going to penetrate, your mouth rinse is never going to reach it. Okay. So what are the most common? Chlorhexidine, and we're going to talk about them. Chlorhexidine is only used by prescription. The essential oil, that is Listerine, and the methylpyridinium chloride, that is on ads and other uh, mouth rinses. So the the requirement for non-prescription mouth rinses is that the American Dental Association will seal it of acceptance. And thus far, the only one that I think it has been accepted is Listerine. So why is the ADA requiring that the studies demonstrating safeness in at least 6 months and statistically significant reduction in bacteria with the pure and FDA approved ingredients? So they have requirements to do it with some of approval. So chlorhexidine, this is a very important mouth rinse because it helps very much on patients after surgery when they cannot reach the surgical site. This is only available by prescription. In the US, it's 0.12%. The concentration in Europe is 0.20%. Uh, you use for twice per day after meals for 60 seconds. Do not swallow and do not drink or eat for 30 minutes after the use. Why? Because it has sustainability that it attaches to the enamel and the active ingredient is available for that half an hour to be active. Okay, so this is the only one that has been demonstrated that it's active against gram-positive, gram-negative, also some viruses and some fungus. Now, an important thing that not a lot of people know is it can raise blood pressure. So if you have a patient that has high blood pressure and has been a cardiac patient, be careful, okay? It has been already published that it raises the blood pressure, okay? It's a broad spectrum antiseptic. It's a B1 that, as I said, in Europe is a 0.2%, and it's for short term, okay? Because the long term has not been extensively tested, and it's supposed that it causes bacterial resistance. So how does it work? It works by breaking the cell membrane of the bacteria, so it binds to the membrane of the bacteria. So what happens is the cell just explodes. Okay, so it can be it can be bacteriostatic or bactericidal depending on the concentration. Okay, inhibits plaque, has substantivity that I just said that it attaches to the mammal, and there's no adverse alterations of the oral bacteria. However, it's a little bit toxic to the fibroblasts, so it delays a little bit the healing. So essential oils, Listerine, it it's um it's supposed to destroy the bacteria, also inhibiting the cell membrane. It prevents bacterial aggregation, slows bacterial multiplication, reduces the bacterial load, prevents biofilm maturation, reduces pathogenesis, and has some anti-inflammatory effects. So this is over the counter, and of course it's not going to be as effective as the um, as the protective one. So this is good for long-term use. It's safe. It doesn't change bacterial composition, and it doesn't have evidence of microbial resistance that develops with the chlorhexidine. And there are different formulas of the Listerine, ones that have more fluoride, and um, this is one of the most studied mouthwashes with evidence of effectiveness. Now the methylpyridinium chloride, like Colgate's Coke, they they have some benefits in decreased biofilm and gingivitis that they claim. However, the ADA has not given approval for these mouthwash. So we're almost done. So the most important thing when you talk to your patient is don't give them a lot of different instruments, a lot of different techniques. Don't make their life more complicated. Whatever you give them, just be targeted to plaque removal. Okay, don't do a lot of things that will confuse them. Are there any questions